Hey everybody and welcome back. I'm Eric for President, and you know the drill, your one-stop shop for 5 VR stories you missed over the past couple of days. We've got a $150 VR game, new VR experiences out right now that we need to talk about with paid transactions, as well as SideQuest update and much more on this video. As always, first though, let's talk about a few VR moments that are making me smile. This Reddit creator showing us his anger management skills by making Flappy Bird doable with Oculus finger tracking. He actually made a ton of these, go check him out. China understanding the VR struggle and working on indestructible TV screens. Wrist straps? We don't need wrist straps where we're going. And finally, the VR badass of the day working on Pokemon Showdown in VR. This 12-minute YouTube video is actually really detailed and had a lot more things than I expected. It was nice knowing you though before Nintendo pulls a Jerry Epstein on you using the Pokemon name. Either way, love you, brother. Quick housekeeping item before we jump into the VR news. Starting in January, the next Oculus Quest headset giveaway will happen. It will be announced on the first video of January, and it will be going through an official site because I cannot keep up with all your comments, but it's gonna be very easy to enter. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the announcement. Stay tuned for that. With that being said, make sure to leave a like to support this video, kiss a VR developer in the mouth, and let's get into the VR news. Cheers. The movie theater experience has been king for far too long, and VR is threatening the crown. Let's get into big screen cinema, paid VR transactions, and not microtransactions, and my thoughts on those. Let's get into it. Bigscreen VR, which is a way to enjoy TV, movies, YouTube, and more with friends and family, just made a huge long-term deal, so poo on you VR is dying lurkers, with Paramount Pictures and even more studios to come aboard early next year, providing both 2D and 3D popular movies. At launch, there will be 4 new movies planned to premiere each and every Friday, and they will screen each for a week at a time. At launch, we will have the 4 following movie titles: Raiders of the Lost Ark, Transformers Dark of the Moon, Star Trek, and the only remotely alright live-action anime, Ghost in the Shell. They're gonna ruin Cowboy Bebop with the live action. It's gonna happen. Jesus. It's gonna be bad. Big Screen Cinema will be selling tickets for around $4 to $5 per admission. Link with full details in the description. So I know what you're thinking. We can already technically do this in Big Screen Beta and a few other apps, but this experience, this whole production they put on, it's a higher level. This is a service, not just an experience. It is a service and a new way for watching cinema. Now, yes, there is a charge to use this, and this is one of the first VR titles that has monetized in this way. However, why I'm okay with it, because it's not microtransactions, but what you're paying for here is a service. And services I'm okay and willing to give a shot, because a service will live and die by if it's good or not. And ultimately, as the user's paying for it, we will dictate if it's a good or bad service. And in the future, if I can, day one of release of a movie, jump on my couch, put on the headset, play my favorite movie, and maybe see it with friends I haven't seen in forever because they're all over the country. Well, Big Screen, thank you for giving me that opportunity. That's the power of VR, and I'm willing to give this monetary process a chance because if it makes the company money, it's a good service. More developers may jump on board and we may have better things to come. That's my thoughts. Let me know yours down in the comments. Also, real quick before we get into our 2 main stories, I know we just talked about monetizing games. Well, what if I told you there is a $150 pre-order version of a game coming in January 2020 for all major headsets? Let's talk about this. Slated for PC VR release January 2020 with an Oculus Quest version to follow after, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is 100% on my radar as the next VR launch to watch for. Saints and Sinners is a game unlike any other in the Walking Dead universe where every challenge you face and decision you make is driven by you. Live The Walking Dead, and from my sources who have seen extended footage and seen some play, this game is extremely detailed and gives you a lot of leverage on how you decide to play. Zombie VR games may be plentiful, but I think this won't be a hit, and it's absolutely the first must-buy of the new year. Now, The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is available for pre-order right now, and there's multiple different ways you can pre-order with different packages, and one of these is $150, and I want to get into my thoughts on the first kind of pre-order of this magnitude and what it could mean for VR. The standard edition is $39.99 and will come with the Sheriff cosmetic skin. Moving along, the deluxe edition will be $49.99 and come with multiple digital in-game bonuses. And lastly, the collector's tower edition comes in at a whopping $149.99 and has both in-game digital items as well as physical goods too. All I can hope for reading through these is that we don't have another Fallout 76 bag ordeal. Now, as far as my thoughts on this giant deal, $149, is no one's forcing you to buy it. If you want it, go get it. I have no place, and no one has any place to tell you how to spend your money. One thing that I do want to know from this bundle is if the digital parts of the purchase in-game, if they can be collected otherwise or they're only available for the Tower Edition. In summary though, I can say this. Overall, I find big packages like this for games typically tacky, and I think they take advantage of consumers who may love the IP a lot. However, with VR and this being a first for it, I'm kind of okay with it and I'd like to see how it plays out. Maybe it brings a lot of money in for developers, maybe people are really willing to buy it, and maybe it does actually come with really useful stuff that people like. And for that, everybody wins. It may incentivize more people to get into VR because they realize there's money to be made. That's my thoughts on this. Again, this is a topic, especially when dealing with money. I would like to hear your thoughts. Please let me know down in the comments. Now, full disclaimer on this next story, I just finished watching the latest episode of My Hero Academia, and then I immediately went into the final episode of this season for Dr. Stone, and I'm feeling a little emotional. God, those are some good episodes. Now, with Half-Life Alyx coming next year, along with the increased marketing that you've seen probably for the Oculus Quest everywhere, headsets are a hot commodity right now. And if you happen to want one, unfortunately, you may not be able to get one. Right now, many people aren't going to be able to get anything until January or February, and that's Oculus Quest, Index, and Rift S are sold out currently right now. It's an amazing time for VR to see that. It's kind of sad that people can't get it, but let's get into some thoughts on it. I look back at when I first got my HTC Vive and the looks people gave me when I talked about it, or I tried to show it, or even what went through my wife's head when I brought up wanting to take over an extra room for VR only, they all looked at me with disbelief. While VR was not nothing at the time, there were far more voices as VR is a gimmick, is dying, and generally going nowhere. Contrast that to today, where yes, I do live in a damn VR echo chamber, I admit that, but VR is popping up in mainstream culture everywhere now, and with Facebook and Oculus fast and hard with their Beat Saber marketing campaign, Vader Immortal playing into the familiarity and nostalgia of our past and future, and Valve seemingly looking alive lately with more news than I can ever remember in my life than it's ever put out, and it's all heavily VR. Now, option one, I think it could be some forced scarcity. Maybe they're purposely keeping the scarcity low to keep it a product that people want, that way they can generate hype while other big name games are being waited on, because right now there aren't that many big name games that we know are releasing Q1 of next year. Theory number two is the increase in marketing campaigns along with the announcement of Half-Life Alyx. Maybe the demand for VR headsets was higher than they expected. That's entirely possible as well. The only thing I know is I do hope they find some way to rectify to get more headsets in people's hands, because the demand's obviously there. Get the headsets in people's hands, let them try it, because most likely it will sell. Now, I'm super biased, but those are my thoughts. Let me know yours down in the comments. Let's revisit a story that we talked about in the last video, a way that you can use your Oculus Quest and the Oculus Link to make the resolution even better. I glanced over that topic, that is my bad, and some better information has come out that will really make your Oculus Quest while using the Oculus Link shine and look phenomenal. Let's get into it very quickly. We talked about this in the last video, so jumping right into this with no filler, please make sure to start that your Oculus Quest is fully updated, your Oculus PC software is also fully updated, and then on the beta tab in the PC software, you have enabled the public test channel. Next, make sure to locate your Oculus debug tool on your PC, found usually by default here, with the tool called Oculus Debug Tool.exe. Once the debug tool is open, the following three settings are what you will be editing: pixels per display pixel override, distortion curvature, and encode resolution width. The latter two, once done, will stay put, but each computer reset you will need to redo the pixels per display override numbers. Askoy gave these three recommendations based on the GPU you are using for what he says are the best results. I use a 2080 Ti, and once changing these to Askoy's recommendations, I saw some noticeable differences, although my eyes did accustom to it rather quick as expected. Now remember, when editing things like this, you can have performance issues, including latency issues and drop frames. That is going to depend on the wear and tear of your rig as well as the GPU, but you can reset these at any time, so there's really no fear of any permanent damage. I do want to say this, despite the naysayers, even with this getting closer now to Rift S resolution, then Rift S is still a quality PC VR headset that of course is going to have better tracking and better comfort for longer play sessions. I wish I could provide some better news, some more news for Rift S users. There's just not much out there right now. However, if I can find a small nugget for you anywhere, I will report that on as quick as I can. I'm looking out for you Rift S owners. I have one myself. It's still a quality headset and I love it, but right now the Quest is kind of stealing the show. That's my thoughts on it though. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And finally, let's talk SideQuest. It is at update 8.0 right now, adding some amazing new features, and I just can't say enough good stuff about SideQuest. It's a developer's paradise for showing games. It allows us some experiences we would never have, and it's doing a great job, so let's go into the new updates on SideQuest. Update 8 is here, and let's briefly go over what that means for you. To start, the user experience has been improved, and both the website and app have been overhauled to better use the screen for viewing and browsing the application, along with making both unified in presentation. SideQuest 8 includes support for streaming from your headset to your PC using an application called Screen Copy. This means on Windows you can now cast from your headset straight to your PC, even over Wi-Fi. It does not yet support audio, but some have used an extra long audio cable or a Bluetooth headset to transfer that audio over. Lastly, and most importantly, you now no longer need to set up your Oculus Quest to your PC to use SideQuest, and wireless installing apps is now doable. So basically from a phone, tablet, or anything from a browser-based system, you can install games, apps, and experiences right to your Oculus Quest. Again, I can't say enough nice things about SideQuest. It adds a tool for people to put games and things on there that the Oculus really walled garden approach won't let on. That way we can experience things that we never would on the Oculus Quest, and newer things keep coming. SideQuest, keep improving. You're doing a great service for the VR community. With that being said, that is today's video. Please leave a like to support the video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to never miss an upload. Join the spaceship on Patreon. Every shekel you can provide will be reinvested right back in this channel for more giveaways and opportunities, more videos, everything I can do for you guys, it's all reinvested back. And with that being said, thank you all for the continued support, and I will see you on the next one, VR Space Cowboys. Cheers.